What is up, guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new Batman coming to the DCU and when he will come into the new universe. So, who's going to be playing the Batman in James Gunn's DCU? We won't know for another couple of years, to be for real. We won't know at all for at least like 5 years. Alan Richardson has been a top choice for this role, and I like this fan casting. It's honestly great. I mean, the guy that played Jack Reacher, a great show, a really great show that I haven't finished watching, but I will. But a lot of people want to see this guy play Batman because Jack Reacher is very like similar to Bruce Wayne when it comes to being like intelligent, right? Alan said in an interview that what he loves about Batman is his intelligence, that he's like the smartest man in the planet, which he basically is, right? Alongside other people like Mr. Terrific and whoever else I forget. But it's the fact Alan likes playing characters like that. He's like good at playing characters like that. Obviously, if he could play Jack Reacher, it's basically just like a Bruce Wayne without a Batman suit. Bruce Wayne is obviously smarter and way better than Jack Reacher, right? So he would just have to play smarter character, which is not the hardest thing for him to do. But so many people want to play Batman, right? There's thousands of people that want to play Batman, and if you just suck at playing Bruce Wayne and you're just not good at it, or you're just a terrible Batman, you suck. You suck, and that's what people will remember you as. Look at Christian Bale, one of the greatest Bruce Waynes to ever be in live action. But his Batman is just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Just not a good Batman at all. Then you look at Ben Affleck's Batman. The greatest Batman physicality wise, absolutely. But when it comes to his Bruce Wayne, it is alright. His Batman itself, besides the physicality, the suit was very comic accurate to, the Batman versus Superman suits in the comics and the animation. But him as Batman, he was just way too old. They need to find that right age, of course, obviously, right? If they pick someone old on they're not gonna do it, but that's just dumb while building a universe, and that was the problem with Ben Affleck's Batman. Just like getting him past his prime, like seriously, come on, dude. Anyways, Robert Pattinson was the best choice because his Batman, even though he was a little too emo, right? For certain people, for me, he's absolutely great. It's just the fact that like he's not in the universe, right? Everybody wants him to be in the universe, but I think it's pretty clear that he's not going to be in the DCU. Another thing I had to mention is the fact that Alan Richardson could be on par as good as Ben Affleck's Batman physicality wise. I already said that he's very intelligent, almost like Bruce Wayne, but physicality wise, he could be exactly like Arkham Knight or absolute Batman, but nobody wants an absolute Batman in the main DCU. I mean, I would love an absolute Batman movie, right? But that's impossible right now. Back to main topic. He just looks like an absolute Batman. He just looks like it, right? He just looks just as big as absolute Batman, bigger than Ben Affleck. So I mean, he is way bigger than Ben Affleck for a fact. We're going off topic. I think he's a good choice. Some people don't want him to be Batman because he's too big. They still want a Christian Bale or Robert Pattinson built, or even someone that's just differently built, that's not as big as like even Ben. And that's cool with me, I'm open. I'm not really too picky like a lot of people out here that get mad as soon as like, when Robert Pattinson got cast, everybody got butthurt. I'm not gonna go crazy who's gonna be Batman. I'm pretty sure any pick, whoever's gonna be cast, James Gunn is gonna be making the casting choice, I guess, right? Whoever's the director, I mean, I hope it's not Andy Muschietti. He's not a back director, and I don't doubt he'll make a good Batman movie, but he has bad reputation because of The Flash, so that can't happen. I feel like they need to get a better director, but if there's gonna be a better director, I think it should be like I think he should have a choice as much as James Gunn to make a good choice for the new Batman, because thousands of actors are eager to play Batman. It's funny too, because when Christian Bale was Batman, he didn't even really want to be like Batman like that. Like he didn't like being Batman like that. I remember like he would only want to do another Batman movie, if Nolan came back to do another Batman movie. And that sucks. I want a Batman that would want to do another Batman movie because he wants to do another Batman movie. I want him to be the Wolverine of the DCU. I want him to be the Hugh Jackman of the DC universe. Like, we need a Batman to stick around for a long time. I'm tired of these recastings. Like, Robert Pattinson's all right because he's pretty young too, right? And he could stay around for a while. But even them are saying is that like a trilogy is like the most they'll get out of him, which kind of sucks because I want to see Robert Pattinson play like a definitive single one man army type of Batman, which is pretty awesome to me, but that's just me. Anyways, for DCU Batman, this better be the fucking last Batman for a long time. I'm tired of these recastings. Like, too many recasting Batmans, okay? I don't want to see another Batman until they do an absolute Batman in 20 fucking 50. But I think that if they could get a better actor than Alan Richardson, I think they could. But Alan Richardson and James Gunn are good friends, or not good friends, but like they have said a lot of good things about each other. They're massive fans of each other or something. They both said, or at least James Gunn said he's a fan of Alan. So that's cool. But I don't think that gets him a role into the universe. And I don't think Alan said that himself. But listen, if you're going to say you want to play a character, there's a good chance you're not going to play that character. You know, this is like, oh, I'd be the best character in this universe. And he said that because he loves Batman. And I respect that. But I think he's trying his best not to say that he'll get the role. He's just saying that because, like, he probably won't. If, like, you can't be talking about getting the role like that. Like, it's just like forbidden. I mean, it's almost impossible to be like, oh, I'm perfect for this role. And I'm not saying Alan said that because he didn't. He just said I would love to play this role. And I think any Batman fan would say that, getting excited saying that, right? They seem like they're in the right position, but like, I think he's still good. I think he still has a good chance because James Gunn likes him. So we'll see. I don't know. So the DCU is teasing Batman, making him have cameos and a lot of shows, him being mentioned, his villains being mentioned, a lot of small Easter eggs. A lot of things are still going on in the background related to Batman, even though it's still taking a long time for him to get here. And it's pretty cool. I like how they're setting him up slowly until he makes his final reveal in his own movie or in someone else's show or movie. I think the clearest indication that Robert Pattinson won't be DCU's Batman is because the Gotham City Police Department logo sign has been revealed for the DCU's version recently. And we all know what the Gotham City Department logo looks like for the Matt Reeves Batman's universe, but we just found out about the DCU's version and it looks drastically different. Unless the Batman took place like 10 years ago and the Gotham City Department like rehauled and like remade themselves, I really don't think Robert Pattinson's Batman has a chance of being in this universe. So I guess you can say that the amount of times James Gunn has been very vague about answering if Robert Pattinson would be the DCU's Batman is because he probably had it in the back of his mind of a backup plan if like he had no idea what to do with Batman. He'll just bring Robert Pattinson's Batman into the DCU if he had no idea what to do with his own version of Batman. But it seems like he's getting the hand of things, creating his own version of Batman with his writers and stuff like that. So it seems like it's going pretty well for him. I really think James Gunn is trying his hardest to make the DCU's Batman insanely different from all the other types of different versions. He wants this Batman to stand out like a sore thumb in a good way. And I'm glad he's trying to do it this way because I'm tired of we're trying to make Batman realistic and everything. It worked for like Christian Bale because they were like the first ones to do it, right? Matt Reeves, it also worked because it was just badass. If they do it again, it's going to be stupid, boring, and not creative. So I think James Gunn is making the obvious right decision of making Batman back to his roots of being fantastical and, you know, him beating super meta humans by himself and shit. What we love to see, like in the Arkham games. So that I really think is going to go right for Batman as a character himself being in the DCU. Another thing, after The Brave and the Bold, The World's Finest is most likely going to be the next film after that movie. So they can have him with Superman and develop a friendship between him and David Cornsweet's Superman, right? They gotta bond, they gotta build that relationship because even though like David Cornsweet, Superman, Supergirl aren't really a part of the Justice Gang, they help them out and stuff, but eventually it's gonna form into the Justice League, right? In the future, over time, stuff like that. We don't know where Peacemaker will be, but Peacemaker seems heavily related to like Batman's villains and stuff like that. They keep being mentioned in his show. They're teasing stuff. They're mentioning characters that come from Gotham, right? Gotham's nearby. Yeah, Peacemaker's a regular
regular human being, so that's similar to Batman. A lot of DC characters that are just human beings in this universe. That's pretty awesome, right? A universe filled with gods and monsters, right? DC is known for having like godlike superhero characters, but it seems like lately they have a lot of human characters too, like Mr. Terrific, which I think is pretty awesome, trying to prove a point that humans have a big part in this universe also. And that's why the DCU needs Batman more than ever. And when Batman does show up, I really hope they choose the suit to be gray and blue, the classic Golden Age, Bronze Age, I think. Blue and gray suit would be so iconic. It's so awesome to see in live action. I don't know how I'd feel about wide eyes on Batman. I don't know if it would be too cartoony, but I guess, why not, right? At this point, we're trying to get a fantastical Batman. You might as well put wide eyes. Just make sure it just doesn't look goofy. Make it look, I don't know, menacing, intimidating, or just as cool as if he didn't have wide eyes on his mask with a lot of emotion. But that's really hard to do. You know, it's like, that's a lot of CGI they have to do with Batman. I don't think they want to do that with a Batman movie. Brave and the Bold, investing a lot of money in CGI with his wide eyes. There's also a good amount of fans that don't want an armored Batman. They want it just like Ben Affleck's suit. Very thin, comic accurate, not too complex, not too detailed, very simple and iconic, which I can agree also, but it better look cool. I mean, I don't mind an armored Batman suit like that. It just doesn't bother me that much. As long as it looks badass to me, I do not care if it's a comic skin tight suit or a armored suit. As long as it looks cool, that's all I care about. I really care about the Batman symbol also. I want the Batman symbol to be really cool. Nothing like, I'm not really a fan of the classic Michael Keaton Batman symbol type of a symbol where it's like yellow and it's small in the middle and stuff. No. Give me the Robert Pattinson, the Christian Bale type of symbol, or even Arkham Knight type of symbol, please. If they choose another actor besides Alan, I hope they go for an actor that isn't well known, that's kind of new to the game, like David Cornsweet or even Tom Holland, right? Someone unknown, someone that's pretty cool. One thing I want them to showcase in this universe with Batman, how he got trained by the Tibet monks in the League of Assassins, because you know for a fact Robert Pattinson wasn't, or at least we never heard of Robert Pattinson being trained by the Tibet monks or their League of Assassins. At least I think Alfred really just trained him a lot, or Robert Pattinson's Batman traveled around the world to train, but I don't think he trained by the League of Assassins. But this is James Gunn's opportunity, or whoever will be the new director for the Batman. I want them to integrate him being trained by the League of Assassins because of Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne was raised by the League of Assassins or those type of people, right? So he's got to have a history with the League of Assassins. Just mention the Tibet monks and all that great stuff. That would be so cool to explain how Batman is so superior more than a lot of meta humans. I would be surprised if they introduced Batman in another show than his own movie, like Peacemaker. Like if he showed up in Peacemaker, that would be insane, right? People were thinking that he was going to show up in Superman with a last minute cameo. He's still going to have a lot of cameos before he does actually show up. They're going to keep making teasers and hints and all that stuff so they can build. But I'll be really surprised if they introduce him into another movie or show before his own movie. I would have no complaints about it, but I think the obvious better option is to introduce him fully in his own film. And this Batman better have the physicality of the Arkham Knight when it comes to fighting. I'm tired of Batman being nerfed. I'm not really complaining about Robert Pattinson's fighting, but his fighting is realistic and perfect enough for it to be the way it is. But I want to see this Batman be as good as Ben Affleck's Batman and Arkham Knight type of fighting. Some crazy shit. He's got to go against, he's got to be like on par with Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific has got some crazy shit. Batman better be better than him. I'm not even kidding. I want to see Batman be like the greatest human superhero there is on the planet. And I mean, I think that's what they're trying to do. So I'm hoping. Alright guys, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, give a like. If you didn't, give a dislike. Whatever, how you feel. I'll see you guys in the next vid. Peace.